Okay, good evening, everybody. I think we're live. Welcome to another week of Classic Country A to Z. We are still in the K's of the alphabet by artist first name. So tonight is Kris Kristofferson night. I have just enough songs in my collection to do a full show. So as always, there will be an original song in the middle and actually kind of a couple gospel songs at the end. I'll kind of explain when we get there. But Kris Kristofferson probably has one of the most interesting pasts, I would say, of any of the country artists that I've done, certainly so far, though everybody has a different story, of course. But Kris Kristofferson was both a college graduate and a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University for literature. He's probably one of the most highly educated country stars that I'm going to be singing in this series. He's also was a helicopter pilot in the Army and for oil companies after the Army. He had a very successful career in acting, in addition to writing many mega hits almost exclusively for other artists. So, with that little bit of background, we'll dive right in. Our first Kris Kristofferson song for tonight is one that he wrote and released in 1971, but never really had much personal success with it until Tom Paul Glaser and the Glaser Brothers released it 10 years later in 1981, when it became a number 2 hit on the charts for them that year. And this song is called Loving Her Was Easier. Well, I have seen the morning burning golden on the mountain in the sky, aching with the feeling of the freedom of an eagle when she flies, turning on the world the way she smiled upon my soul as I lay dying, healing as the colors in the sunshine was the shadows in her eyes, waking in the morning to the feeling of her fingers on my skin, wiping out the traces of the people and the places that I've been, teaching me that yesterday was something that I never thought of trying, talking of tomorrow and the money, love, and time we had to spend, and loving her was easier than anything I'll ever do again. Coming close together with a feeling that I've never known before in my time. She ain't ashamed to be a woman nor afraid to be a friend, and I don't know the answer to the easy way she opened every door in my mind, but dreaming was as easy as believing it was never gonna end, and loving her was easier than anything I'll ever do again. Yeah, loving her was easier than anything I'll ever do again. All right, there's our opener. Mary Pat, thanks for tuning in. Julie, Craig, Thanks for joining us tonight. Now, we're Kris Kristofferson night here, for those who missed the initial opening paragraph. Our second Kris Kristofferson song tonight is one that he wrote and Roger Miller first released in 1969. This song was inspired by Kris's experience of being arrested. In the song, he observes police officers' mistreatment of black people and poor people. And in fact, Kris protested when his record company decided to change the lyrics before it was released to omit the word black in the lyrics. The original lyrics said, "If that's against the law, tell me why I never saw a man locked in that jail of yours that wasn't either black or poor as me." And the recorded version got changed to a man who wasn't as low down poor as me. But for tonight's version, I will put the lyrics back to the way Kris wrote it, largely because sadly here 52 years later, in many cases they're still very true. So this is called Best of All Possible Worlds. And there's a lot of words in this song, but I think it kind of shows the talent of Kris Kristofferson's songwriting and his skill, and you can tell he had a literary background and education. I was running through the summer rain, trying to catch the evening train and kill that old familiar pain weaving through my tangled brain. But when I tipped my bottle back, I smacked into a cop I didn't see. That policeman said, "Mr. Cool, if you ain't drunk, then you're a fool." I said, "If that's against the law, tell me why I never saw a man locked in that jail of yours who wasn't either black or poor as me." Well, that was when someone turned out the lights, and I wound up in jail to spend the night and dream of all the wine and lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. Well, I woke up next morning feeling like my head was gone, and like my thick old tongue was licking something sick and wrong. And I told that man I'd sell my soul for something wet and cold as that old cell. That kindly jailer grinned at me, all eaten up with sympathy, then bought himself another beer and came and whispered in my ear, "If booze was just a dime a bottle, boy, you couldn't even buy the smell." I said I knew there's something I liked about this town, but it takes more than that to bring me down, 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 'cause there's still a lot of wine and lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. Well, they finally came and told me they was gonna set me free, and I'd be leaving town if I knew what was good for me. I said it's nice to learn that everybody's so concerned about my health. I said I won't be leaving no more quicker than I can, 'cause I've enjoyed about as much of this as I can stand, and I don't need this town of yours more than I've never needed nothing else. 'Cause there's still a lot of drinks that I ain't drunk, and lots of pretty thoughts that I ain't thunk, oh yeah. And Lord, there's still so many lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. Yes, Lord, there's still so many lonely girls in this best of all possible worlds. All right. I'll get caught up in the comments here. Linnea, thank you for joining in, and thank you so much for the compliment. I certainly appreciate it. Great to have you here. Next up, another song that Kris wrote back in the late 60s. But the first commercial success of the song occurred when Bobby Bear released it in 1970. and had a number 7 hit with it in the charts. The song was recorded by a number of artists over the years, including U.S. Senator Robert Byrd, of all people. And this song is called Come Sundown. I heard the front door closing softly as I awakened from my sleep, with the soft touch of her lips, Lord, like a whisper on my cheek. And I cursed the sun for rising, for the worst, Lord, was yet to come. But this morning she's just leaving, but come sundown she'll be gone. See that lipstick on the pillow that I placed beneath her head, and the soft sheets still feel warm, Lord, where she lay upon my bed. And it hurts to know it's over, and the hurt, Lord, has just begun. 'Cause this morning she's just leaving, but come sundown she'll be gone. Yeah, come sundown she'll be gone. Right now, next up, another one that Kris wrote in the late 1960s, but this one was blah, blah, this get tongue-tied. This one was recorded by Billy Walker in 1969 and reached number 20 on the charts for him. And at a chance, kind of as a side story, is at a chance meeting Kris Kristofferson had with the great Tom T. Hall, amazing songwriter who just passed away recently. And it was shortly after Billy Walker's release of the song, Tom T. told Kris, quote, "God, that's a great song." And then he quoted lines from the song back to Kris, so he had memorized it already. Years later, Kris was quoted as saying, that kind of comment from someone like that was enough to keep me going back then, because he was still struggling despite writing all these great songs at that point. This one is called From the Bottle to the Bottom. You ask me if I'm happy now, well, that's as good as any joke I've heard. It seems that since I've seen you last, I done forgot the meaning of the word. If happiness is empty rooms and drinking in the afternoon, well, I suppose I'm happy as a clown. But if it's got a thing to do with smiling or forgetting you, well, I don't guess that I can say I am. Did you ever see a down and outer waking up alone without a blanket on to keep him from the dew? When the water from the weeds has soaked the paper he's been putting in his shoes to keep the ground from coming through. And his future feels as empty as the pockets in his pants because he's never seen a single dream come true. Well, that's the way that I've been feeling since the day I started falling from the bottle to the bottom, stool by stool, learning how to live with losing you. Well, you wonder if I'm better off with freedom now to do the things I choose. Well, all my time's my own and I got nothing left but sleeping time to lose. There's no one here to carry on if I stay out the whole night long, or give a tinker's damn if I don't call. I'm living like I wanted to and doing things I want to do, and nothing seems to mean a thing at all. Did you ever see a down and outer waking up alone without a blanket on to keep him from the dew? When the water from the weeds has soaked the paper he's been putting in his shoes to keep the ground from coming through. And his future feels as empty as the pockets in his pants because he's never seen a single dream come true. Well, that's the way that I've been feeling since the day I started falling from the bottle to the bottom, stool by stool, learning how to live with losing you. From the bottle to the bottom, losing you. Now, a quick check comments. Lene, you're most welcome. Okay, next up is a song Kris wrote and released on his debut album entitled Kristofferson. But it was also released later by Sammy Smith. And I should mention that Kris Kristofferson was not a very good singer. He was an amazing songwriter, but not a very good singer by his own account. When it was not his idea to record albums, and when his producer insisted that he record an album, Kris told him in colorful language, but basically, I sing like a frog, so why would we do this? But nevertheless, they did. And so, which is why most of the songs he wrote, somebody else made hits out of. So anyway, Sammy Smith had a #1 hit with the song. It was ultimately her signature song. It also won a Grammy for her for Best Female Country Vocal Performance. And Kris was inspired to write this song by an Esquire magazine interview with Frank Sinatra. And when Frank was asked what he believed in, he replied, "Booze, broads, or a Bible, whatever helps me make it through the night." When Kris wrote the song, he was living with Dottie West and her husband, and so he originally offered the song to Dottie West, but she turned it down, saying it was too suggestive. Years later, she claimed that this was one of the biggest mistakes of her career. The song is called "Help Me Make It Through the Night." Take the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose and let it fall, laying soft against your skin, like the shadows on the wall. come and lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. Well, I don't care who's right or wrong, and I won't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow. Lord, tonight I need a friend. Yesterday's dead and gone, and tomorrow's out of sight. And it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. No, I don't care who's right or wrong, and I don't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow. Lord, tonight I need a friend. Yesterday's dead and gone, and tomorrow's out of sight. And it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. Yeah, it's sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. Well, I don't want to be alone. Help me make it through the night. Okay, now for this next song, Kris said in his autobiography, I read The Grapes of Wrath, either in high school or college, and also East of Eden and Of Mice and Men. And I wanted to be a writer, and I admired John Steinbeck. I'm sure that growing up in Texas helped me identify with the characters in The Grapes of Wrath, and it was a wonderful, unforgettable movie that I might have seen on TV or somewhere. And something made me think of that scene, which always profoundly moved me, and it came out in a song. Johnny Cash said in his autobiography that this song might be his favorite song by any writer of his time. And the song is called Here Comes That Rainbow Again. The scene was a small roadside cafe. The waitress was sweeping the floor. Two truck drivers drinking their coffee, and two oaky kids by the door. How much are them candies, they asked her. How much have you got, she replied. Well, we've only a penny between us. Well, them's two for a penny, she lied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Ain't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. One truck driver called to the waitress after the kids went outside. Them candies ain't two for a penny. So what's it to you, she replied. In silence they finished their coffee, got up and nodded goodbye. She called, hey, you left too much money. So what's it to you, they replied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder when the smell of the rain on the wind. Ain't it just like a human? And here comes that rainbow again. Yeah, the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Ain't it just like a human? And here comes that rainbow again. And here comes that rainbow again. Well, Mary Pat and Julie, I'm glad you liked those two songs. Julie, you're in good company if that was Johnny Cash's favorite song as well. So, okay, next one. This is a song Kris wrote in the early 70s. It became a hit for Brenda Lee in 1973, and this song is called Nobody Wins. Anymore it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. We've been injuring each other for much too long, and it's too late to try to save what might have been. It's over and nobody wins. Make believing in forever is just a lie, and it seems a little sadder each time we try, 'cause it's a shame to make the same mistakes again and again. It's over and nobody wins. We've gone too far, too long, too far apart. The loving was easy, it's the living that's hard. And there's no need to stay and see the way it ends. It's over and nobody wins. Yes, it's over and nobody wins. All right. Now, here's a song that Kris wrote with Shel Silverstein, if you recall, the guy that wrote A Boy Named Sue and many other songs. And his main career was writing children's books. Anyway, in the late 1960s, and that Jerry Lee Lewis recorded and had a #2 hit with in 1969. This one is called Once More with Feeling. We're just going through the motions of the parts we've learned to play. Never quite together like before. But somehow, darling, something good got lost along the way. And our song ain't nothing special anymore. Let's try it one more time with feeling, darling. Take it from the top. Let me feel those tears a falling, babe. I don't want to miss a single drop. Darling, make believe you're making me believe each word you say. Try it once more with feeling and we'll call it a day. Oh, you're reaching out to touch me, darling, just the way you used to do. And you're looking everywhere but in my eyes. Well, that's an oldie, but it's a goodie. But them words ain't ringing true. And you don't seem very sure of your life. So let's try it one more time with feeling, darling. Take it from the top. This one is the big one, babe, so give it every little thing you got. Darling, make believe you're making me believe each word you say. Try it once more with feeling and we'll call it a day. Let's try it once more with feeling and we'll call it a day. Now, that's the Jerry Lee Lewis contribution. This is where we've now reached the point where I do one of our original songs that my friend Charlie and I wrote. This song is about messing up and then leaving a relationship only to later realize you've made a mistake and need to find your way back. So the song is called Help Me, Help Me. You closed the door, I walked away. No long goodbye, no more to say. Tears in your eyes, the price I paid for one mistake, for love betrayed. Got in my car, drove night and day. Thought everything would be okay. But by the time I hit L.A., I knew I'd gone the wrong way. You've gotta help me, help me. You've gotta help me, help me. Find my way back home again. You've gotta help me, help me. Baby, help me, help me. Find my way back home again. I leave L.A., take I-40, end up lost in Albuquerque, heading north where you might be, end up lost in Laramie. The road is dark ahead of me. Will you be there when I turn the key? I was blind, babe, too blind to see how much your love means to me. You've gotta help me, help me. You've gotta help me, help me. Find my way back home again. You've gotta help me, help me. Baby, help me, help me. Find my way back home again. Like a ship at sea lost in the night, I ran off course, slipped out of sight. But you're my North Star shining so bright, my heart and soul, my redeeming light. Well, what I did I can't undo. Babe, I was wrong and know it's true. Do what it takes to start anew. Just show me the way back to you. You've gotta help me, help me. You've gotta help me, help me. Find my way back home again. You've gotta help me, help me. Baby, help me, help me. Find my way back home again. All right, now, next up, this is a song Kris wrote and first released, and although others recorded it after him, no one really had a huge success with it, probably partly because it's a sad song and a poor reflection on society, really, kind of the opposite of the Here Comes the Rainbow Again song. This song is called Somebody Nobody Knows. Alone in a barroom, a young girl is sitting and smiling at nothing at all. And she stares now and then at the eyes of the men in the mirror that hangs on the wall. She's waiting for someone, and knowing there's no one who cares if she comes or she goes. Just a soul in the shadows the world never sees. She's somebody nobody knows. Someone no one's ever known. Crying where no one can hear. Somebody's dying alone in a city where nobody cares. Down in the gutter, an old man had fallen like something the world threw away. The late crowd was leaving, and nobody even took time to look down where he lay. The old man was crying and helplessly trying to wipe off the stain from his clothes. Just a soul in the shadows that life left behind. He's somebody nobody knows, someone no one's ever known, crying where no one can hear. Somebody's dying alone in a city where nobody cares. In a city where nobody cares. That's our sad song for tonight. Now, this next one is one of Kris Kristofferson's most successful songs. The suggestion for the title for this song that Kris wrote came as a challenge from his producer, Fred Foster. And the character in the song was named for a studio secretary named Barbara, quote, Bobby McGee. But Kris had misheard her last name when Fred challenged him to write a song entitled Me and Bobby McGee. At the time, Kris was kind of going through a writer's block, and Fred Foster thought giving him just a song title to build a song around would be a good challenge for Kris. And so he wrote the song in the late 1960s, and Roger Miller actually had the first hit with it, number 12 hit in 1969. But the song's biggest success came 2 years later in 1971 when Janis Joplin released this song posthumously, and it hit number 1 on the pop charts. It was her only number 1 hit, and it stayed at number 1 for several weeks. She recorded the song just a few days before her death in late 1970, and she and Kris were dating at the time, and he had previously sung the song for her, but he didn't know that she'd recorded it until after her death. And the first time he heard her recording of it was the day after she died, and in his autobiography he said, quote, I walked all over L.A. just in tears. I couldn't listen to the song without really breaking up. So when I came back to Nashville, I went into the studio building late at night, and I played it over and over and over again so I could get used to it without breaking up. I'll be doing the Roger Miller version, not the Janis Joplin version, but the song is called Me and Bobby McGee. Busted flat in Baton Rouge and heading for a train, feeling nearly faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained and took us all the way to New Orleans. Well, I took out my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana and was blowing sad while Bobby sang the blues. With those windshield wipers slapping time and Bobby clapping hands with mine, we sang every song that driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues, and feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. From the coal mines of Kentucky to the California sun, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Standing right beside me, Lord, through everything I'd done. And every night she kept me from the cold. Then somewhere near Salinas, Lord, I'd let her slip away, looking for the home I hope she'll find. And I'd trade all of my tomorrows for a single yesterday, holding Bobby's body next to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing is all she left for me. And feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. And buddy, that was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. Yeah, buddy, that was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da, me and Bobby McGee. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da, me and Bobby McGee. So there's a song that I probably knew completely by heart and overthought it and goofed up the lyrics. That's what happens when you overthink things. All right, so next up is a song Kris wrote later in his career, in 1995, and he made it the title track to his album that year, though neither the album nor the song made any charts. 13 years later, Kris's friend Willie Nelson made it the title track to his 2008 album, and though the song didn't chart for Willie, the album reached number 8 in the charts. By this point, however, it was pretty tough for Willie to get much radio play to support a single song. So anyway, this love song is called Moment of Forever. Was it wonderful for you? Was it holy as it was for me? Did you feel the hand of destiny that was guiding us together? You were young enough to dream. I was old enough to learn something new. I'm so glad I got to dance with you for a moment of forever. And sometimes when you're crying, you're happy. And sometimes you're just crying. I know, I know. And come whatever happens now, ain't it nice to know that dreams still come true? I'm so glad that I was close to you for a moment of forever. And sometimes when you're crying, you're happy. And sometimes you're just crying. I know, I know. whatever happens now. Ain't it nice to know that dreams still come true? I'm so glad that I was close to you for a moment of forever. Okay, now, in keeping with the theme of that last song, where it's a song that Kris Kristofferson wrote and made the title track to an album that never charted, this is another one of those. This sort of cleverly written song is called The Silver-Tongued Devil. I took myself down to the Tally-Ho Tavern to buy me a bottle of beer. And I sat me down by a tender young maiden whose eyes were as dark as her hair. And as I was searching from bottle to bottle for something unfoolish to say, that silver-tongued devil just slipped from the shadows and smilingly stole her away. I said, "Hey, little girl, don't you know he's a devil? And he's everything that I ain't, hiding intentions of evil under the smile of a saint. All he's good for is getting in trouble and shifting his share of the blame. And some people swear he's my double, some even say we're the same. But the silver-tongued devil's got nothing to lose, and I'll only live till I die. We take our own chances and pay our own dues, the silver-tongued devil and I. Like all the fair ladies who've laid down beside him, she knew in her heart that he lied. But nothing that I could have said could have saved her, no matter how hard that she tried. 'Cause she'll offer her charms to the darkness and danger of something she's never known, and open her arms at the smile of a stranger who'll love her and leave her alone. And you know he's the devil, well, he's everything that I ain't, hiding intentions of evil under the smile of a saint. All he's good for is getting in trouble and shifting his share of the blame. And some people swear he's my double, and some even say we're the same. But the silver-tongued devil's got nothing to lose, and I'll only live till I die. We take our own chances and pay our own dues, the silver-tongued devil and I, the silver-tongued devil and I. Clever lyrics. Okay, let's see. Rose, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you with us. All right, this next song, Kris wrote in 1971, and Bobby Bear had a number 8 hit with it that year. But the song's biggest success came 3 years later when Ronnie Milsap released it, and the song became his 4th country hit and his 2nd number 1 on the charts. With this song, Ronnie Milsap also won his first Grammy Award for Best Country Vocal Performance, and this song is called Please Don't Tell Me How the Story Ends. This could be our last good night together, and we may never pass this way again. Just let me enjoy it till it's over or forever. Please don't tell me how the story ends. See the way our shadows come together, softer than your fingers on my skin. Someday this may be all that we'll remember of each other. So please don't tell me how the story ends. Never's just the echo of forever. Lonesome as the love that might have been. Just let me go on loving and believing till it's over. Please don't tell me how the story ends. This could never's just the echo of forever. Lonesome as the love that might have been. Just let me go on loving and believing till it's over. Please don't tell me how the story ends. No, please don't tell me how the story ends. So this is a problem with slow songs that we're real familiar with. That I'm real familiar with, and my mind wanders after a little break, and I come back in on the wrong section. Not helpful. All right, Kris was inspired to write tonight's next song during a low period in his life after he attended a religious service conducted by the Reverend Jimmy Rogers Snow, who's Hank Snow's son. And on the recording of the song, he had backing vocals from his soon-to-be wife, Rita Coolidge, as well as from Larry Gatlin. This song was actually inspired by Larry Gatlin's song called Help Me, Lord, which I also have in my collection. We work through in the gospel group. The song, this is the only song that was Kris that he ever sang that was considered to be perfectly sung, as it's about a man who'd gone out and lived life but was now ready to humble himself before Jesus. This 1972 song is Kris's only number one solo of his career, at least for himself, and this one's called Why Me, Lord? Why me, Lord? What have I ever done to deserve even one of the pleasures I've known? Tell me, Lord, what did I ever do that was worth loving you, or the kindness you showed? Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it, so help me, Jesus, I know what I am. And now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul's in your hand. Tell me, Lord, if you think there's a way I can try to repay all I've taken from you. Well, maybe, Lord, I can show someone else what I've been through myself on my way back to you. And Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it, so help me, Jesus, I know what I am. And now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul's in your hand. Jesus, my soul's in your hand. So you're probably wondering why we didn't do that as the gospel song for this week. Well, that's because there's another song that we're doing for the gospel song that Kris Kristofferson wrote. And like the last song, this song had tremendous success on the charts, but as with the rest of Kris's most successful songs, the charting was for a number of other artists, not for Kris. In fact, this song is so popular, it had been recorded by over 200 artists and has reached number one all around the world. Marilyn Sellers was the first to record this song in 1974 when it reached number 19 on the country charts. But then 5 years later, country gospel singer Christy Lane recorded it. And in 1980, it became a huge number one hit for her, which would be her only number one hit. This wildly popular gospel song of Kris's is called One Day at a Time. I'm only human. I'm just a man. Well, help me believe in what I could be and all that I am. Show me the stairway I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. one day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking of you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, it's worse now than then. Pushing and shoving, violence and crime. So for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking of you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. All right. Glad to see that was popular. It certainly was popular all around the world as well. It's probably the biggest selling song that Kris wrote. So that leads us to our benediction. Our hour is up. Of course, we're over as typical, but we sing this benediction to send you on your way and wish you a great week ahead. May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortune 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet meet again. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. For those who watch later, have a great Labor Day and a great week ahead. And we will see you back here next week. And I don't recall who's next, but it might be Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers. So anyway, have a great week, and thanks again for tuning in. Stay safe. Good night.